Hello, and welcome back to the MTG Rundown. I am Happy.
And I'm Elijah.
And we are going to be down an Andrew this week. He is out. He does not have the sickness, but he has a sickness, so he is getting some rest, getting some chicken noodle soup. You know, all
down
that good
entire
stuff.
Andrew today.
Yep.
One whole
One
Andrew.
whole Andrew. One whole Andrew.
Whole Andrew.
So it's gonna be a little weirder, a little less structured, but hey, we're gonna get through it. Just us.
Yeah, just strap yourselves in.
Just us. Strap yourselves in. So the first thing we're going to be doing is there are three, count them, three, count them, three new Kamigawa spoilers.
Yep.
I don't remember them off the top of my head, but luckily
we got a phone.
Elijah has them pulled up
do.
on the internet. What a crazy thing that internet is.
Internet, man.
I don't think it's going to take off.
No, it's not. It's
I don't think
not.
it's going to take off.
You're watching this on, this is all coming to you,
Yeah, it's
snail mail.
Snail mail, the public access channel.
Yeah,
Yep,
there we
yep,
go.
yep.
There we go. All right, so the first one we got is a Kami of Transients. It's one colorless and a green for a 2/2 creature spirit. It is a rare. It's got trample. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you put a 1/1 counter on it. At the beginning of each end step, if an enchantment was put into your graveyard from the battlefield this turn, you may return Kami of Transients from your graveyard to your hand. So
This card's good.
I think it's good.
I think this just kind of slots neatly into all of those Bant or Naya enchantment lists. I think it's going to be killer in Commander.
Yeah, I mean the trample I think is what really
trample,
gives it.
yes.
Because I mean the fact that every time you cast an enchantment it just grows. The trample itself is going to be a problem for everybody else really quick.
Yeah,
And you can drop it early.
You drop it early. I mean, you just equip, throw any aura on him, and he already grows by 1 and is probably buffed by the aura. So like it's just good. Plus the recursion. If an enchantment goes to your graveyard, you can put him back into your hand from the graveyard. That's just a good creature. That's a solid creature.
That's a solid creature. I mean you could probably. I mean I don't know if you would want to or not, but like I guess if you were playing some form of a standard deck, you potentially run 4 of them. You enchant. You use the white enchants we were looking at earlier, or what?
I'm just sorry. I'm just still. That one's gonna be bad. That one's gonna be. We do not have a lot of nice things to say about that card.
Oh, that card? No, but
yeah.
like if you use the minimus containment,
Sure.
and then someone decides to sack the treasure that it turns it into,
Yeah.
that hits your graveyard. All the commies come back to your
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
Do it all over again.
It's
So,
pretty good.
it's a good card. Now we're on to the second one. We're not a fan of this one either.
No, this
necessarily.
one's wonky. This one's
It's
weird.
wonky. I'll let you do it.
Yeah,
I'll let you
so
do this
it's
one, Chief.
of course it's the one with the most Japanese names. So Mukatai Soul Ripper. It's a vehicle.
Ooh.
It's 1 and a black, 4/3, already pretty good. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice another artifact or creature. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on it, and it gains menace until end of turn, and it's crew 2. So it is pretty. It's as far as vehicles go.
It's a good vehicle.
It's a good one. It's good. I think this is actually a playable card. I just think the problem is there's no aristocrats, really anything to support it.
I mean, normally what people are doing is shambling gas turn 1, and then they use the deadly dispute or something.
Yeah.
They sack the creature, they get the treasure, they get another treasure, they draw 2.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. The fact that it gets bigger and then gains menace is real nice.
Remember, it even when it stops being a creature and turns into a vehicle, it keeps the 1/1 counter. So it's going to grow every time you crew it.
Crew 2 is also super reasonable. I think a lot of the problems with the vehicles is they were like crew 4 or crew 5.
Yeah, they were super high crews, and you were like, why wouldn't
at
I
that
just...
point I'm just going to use either the big creature I have or the little creatures to just
multiple
swing,
of them. Yeah, but I do like
Magic.
that it says artifact.
It does.
It gives you another use for the blood tokens.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
True.
Because we're talking about standard.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a solid card. I don't think it'll be a buster, but I think
No.
If I saw someone play it, play it in standard, right, like on the other side of the table from me, I'd be like, oh crap, okay, sure,
That's a card.
yeah, that's fair. All right, I gotta think about that for a second.
I gotta deal with it.
Okay,
All
this
right.
card sucks.
Yeah,
This next
we're on to the
card
last
sucks.
one. I like the name. I don't like anything else about it.
The name is great.
All right. Yep. So the last one we got is Light Paws Emperor's Voice. It is one generic and a plains for legendary creature Fox Advisor. It's a 2/2. The picture's a little distorted.
It's a little jank.
So I don't know if it's a mythic or a rare, but it's one of the two.
I think all of these are rares. I think all these cards are rares.
Because both of these were. So
rares.
it's probably a rare. So it's a 2/2 Fox Advisor, which reads, whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to that aura and with a different name than each aura you control. Put that card onto the battlefield attached to Light Paws, Emperor's Voice, then shuffle. So there's a problem with this card.
The problem is it's white. And like, what are the good auras in white? Daybreak Coronet, Angelic Destiny.
Mm-hmm. Those are good.
Running
out real quick. Like if you were gonna run this in a commander deck, you probably wouldn't make it the commander.
No.
And if it's running in the deck, it can only get things that can attach to Light Paws because it can only grab auras. So if you wind up grabbing a curse, you can't actually use the curse.
Yeah.
Right? I'm assuming that's how the
pretty
rulings
I think
work.
so.
I'm
I
not
think
sure how
so.
the rulings work on that because it has to be attached to Light Paw. Because there's also a ton of like minimus containment we were talking about earlier. You're not going to want to attach that to Light Paws because then it becomes a treasure.
Why would I?
Why would you do that?
Why would I want to minimus containment my own creature? That's
There
dumb.
are. I looked it up before we started this. There are 20 aura enchantments that are standard legal at the moment, not including Champions of Kamigawa. Not Champions of Kamigawa. Neon Dynasty. Kamigawa. Neon
I keep
Dynasty.
wanting to say Neon Genesis.
Yeah,
and it's
right.
not Neon Genesis.
No, it's not. But not including the new Kamigawa. But there's 20 of them, and over half of them are for control and not for buffing.
Yeah.
You.
They're pacifism type effects.
The ones for buffing make it a 7/6 vigilance lifelink that creates a 1/1 spirit on enter, a 1/1 spirit on death, and a 1/1 soldier every your end step. And that's not great.
It is a lot of work.
That's
to
a lot
make
of work.
Card good, which means you probably just shouldn't play the card.
Because in standard, if you're probably running more than one of each aura, but you can only search for the auras you don't have on the board in the mana value that the card is.
I think this might actually be Deece in Pioneer.
Really?
Yeah, just because a Pioneer is essentially standard plus. So while it would be terrible in Modern and while it's mediocre in Commander, I think it would actually maybe see a home in Pioneer. Just because that in SRAM,
Oh, yeah.
right, just it draws a lot of cards, and I think you could make that pretty big, like without a whole lot of effort in Pioneer.
I mean, because the problem in Commander is if you make it the Commander, you're stuck in a monocolor and you're not stuck in a great one.
Yeah.
And the stuff you can search for isn't going to help much.
Not
Because
really.
it's going to... If it buffed itself for the auras,
Sure.
that would be way better.
It'd be, if it had, I don't know, Trample.
Yeah, or
like-
Trample, like the
like-
Kami.
The Kami,
It would be
which is
great.
a good card.
Yeah, it would be fantastic.
It'd be great.
But I mean, even if it said attached to another creature.
Another creature
would be,
great.
you'd run
Yeah.
Light Paws with the Kami and you'd go nuts.
The deck runs itself.
Yeah, the deck then runs itself because you cast the enchantment, the Kami grows, you get to find another one and just attach it to the Kami.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
That would be good.
That'd be busted.
That'd
be good.
That would be good.
I like that card.
We can't do that though.
But that
'cause-
card doesn't exist, so...
No, it doesn't. Oh man. Yeah, so those are the three cards. They're not great. The Kami's good.
The Kami's good. I think the Kami's
The other
legit.
two are situational at best, if not just not.
If you like vehicles, you'll like this one.
Yeah, I mean 4/3 menace isn't bad.
And it's a 5/4 menace. It's a 5/4
Yeah,
menace.
As long as you sack something, and hopefully if you're playing the card, you're doing something with tokens or blood tokens or something to be able to sack every time, because that's gonna hit every time.
Oh yeah.
That hits every time. Nobody wants to waste their good card. No one's sacrificing a Goldspan Dragon to block your Soul Ripper.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
no one's doing that.
No one's doing that.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think overall these are the spoilers that they excite me more than the last spoilers. I'm gonna be real with
that's
you.
true. That's very true.
The
land and the sorcery.
The sorcery, and then even before that, when it was just the dude that gives all your other dudes ninjutsu. I didn't care about that. I didn't care about that at all. I'm gonna be real. The only card I've been like super like, oh my gosh, is the new Planeswalker. That's the only guy I've been like really.
Kaito Shizuki.
Yeah, Kaito. That's the only guy I've really been
It's a great Planeswalker.
It's a good walker. It's pretty good.
It's a good walker. Yeah. So those are the spoilers that we've been given so far. I believe we are officially in spoiler season now. Now that we've hit January, unless it starts February.
I think it might be as of maybe as of today, because they just released a YouTube video, which is like how they developed the story and lore for this.
So yeah,
set.
so I think we've officially hit spoiler season for it.
If not, we are like a week or two out. From spoiler season.
So the next few episodes are gonna have a lot more cards because they normally spoil upwards of 10 or more, and we'll be going through them every time it comes out up until because right now we're only at 25 of 302 cards.
Oh, this is kind of a big set.
It's very big. 302 is pretty big.
That's a pretty big set.
That's pretty chunky.
Yeah.
I like it. All right.
I don't even think the Zendikar return had any.
It was not. It was 2 something. It wasn't 3. 250 something. I think it was.
Wild.
It is wild. But hey, people love Kamigawa, so
it's true,
and people are excited to go back. So
they are. Boy, I said something about reading the comments last episode. I don't remember what it was for. And I didn't read those comments.
No, I don't remember.
So if you're expecting me to say or do anything,
yeah, I don't remember.
You will not
either.
find it this week.
I don't remember what it was.
3.
I don't remember either.
Yeah.
All right. So so for the next topic, we're going to talk about what we think so every time they release another standard set, they've been doing 2 commander decks every single time. It's been confirmed that we are getting 2 commander decks, but they haven't told us anything about them. We know nothing. We don't even have a card or the commanders or anything. We don't know. We don't know colors. We don't know nothing. So, I think it'd be cool to brainstorm a little bit and see if we can think about what they might do.
I mean, one of them is ninjas.
Yeah.
I think one of them for sure is ninjas, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
I think one of them is ninjas.
I mean, it's sad that it's not gonna be the one that gives everything ninjutsu.
No,
but it's gonna be something to do with ninjas.
That would have been cool.
That would have been very cool.
That would have been good.
That would have been a good idea.
Didn't get
but
that.
we didn't. We got the card in the set, not in the deck. I think they might do a samurai deck.
They're not doing a samurai deck.
No? Why
not? No. Oh my gosh, no. Because that would mean they would have to acknowledge that Bushido exists, because all samurai have Bushido.
Yeah.
And they already showed us the one samurai with not Bushido.
With Bushido, yeah.
With Bushido, but not. So I don't think it's samurai.
No. Ah, man.
You know what I think it's gonna be?
What's that?
I think it's gonna be another Spirits deck.
Oh yeah, I
think
completely
it's gonna
forgot
be
about
another
that.
friggin' Spirits deck, because Kamigawa loves their spirits.
They do. I mean, getting a ninja, the ninja one is probably going to be the one that's more popular of the two.
People are going to buy out the ninja one.
Yeah.
Like they do
with the zombie
one, and the vampire one,
and the dragon one,
and the not spirits one.
Yeah, the not spirits.
The not spirits one.
This is 3 spirits decks now.
Because
we had the previous one, which was the foretell one that made spirits when you foretold stuff.
Yep.
And then we had the recent one that's
make spirits when your creatures do damage.
When your creatures do damage, and now we're gonna have another form of probably Death Matter spirits or something.
So Kamigawa spirits are weird. They
are very weird.
They do things,
They
right?
do
They're
things.
not like they're flyers.
The dragons are the best example, I would think.
Yes, right. Like they do weird things on death, or on ETB, or whenever you play another spirit or arcane spell. That is traditionally what the Kamigawa spirits have done. Whereas every other kind of spirits, right? Like the Innistrad spirits are like, the Lord gave everybody +1/+1 in hexproof.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, or the Nebelgast one where you sack it and you can counter a spell based on its power, or stuff like that.
You think because they're doing spirits, you think they're going to bring back the offering mechanic?
God, I hope not. That wasn't good.
No, the offering
did not
mechanic
like that.
it's a creature type offering
Yeah.
is the ability. So it's an ability that changes based on what it is. So the best example is Fox offering.
Mm.
When you cast you can sacrifice a fox that you have on the board, and if you do, the creature spell you're going to cast costs X less, where X is the converted mana cost, and you're going to pay whatever difference there is, if there is one.
Yeah, it's for all the patrons.
The patrons.
Kitsune, the patron of the Orochi, the other ones.
The other ones, obviously, yeah. The other
patron
ones.
of the Nizomi for the rats.
That's probably close. I don't remember the other ones. But yeah, so that was the offering. You sacked a certain type of creature to be able to play that creature for cheaper if you had enough of them. Which is interesting, and they're probably not going to.
Probably
the only reason I
not.
remember that is because it was on spirits. That's
Yeah,
that's why.
it was
So,
yeah.
Otherwise, they've already shown us the half Bushido, so they're
the
not
Bushido,
acknowledging
but
that
not.
exists.
So yeah, we're definitely not getting a samurai deck because that would make them reprint samurai cards, and they won't do that.
You got to admit that'd be cool. Though.
It would be cool. It would be cool.
If they had a ninja and a samurai deck, they'd sell both equally.
No, people hate samurai.
Really?
People
Why?
hate Bushido. Yeah, because it adds another layer of math, right? like Lord Kondo. Right?
Are people not graduate in high school?
He's a 3/3 with Bushido 5. So if he attacks or blocks,
the guy
he's an 8/8. So it's not you're not like thinking about that's a 3/3. Like no, that's an 8/8.
Only if you block him.
Only if you block only if he's blocking or blocked.
Yes. So if someone swings with the 3/3
math.
vigilance indestructible, you just let it through.
Yes, but also if you want to swing, you're like, no, I can't swing with my 4/4 because he's got an 8/8.
Yes,
but it's also really easy to look at that card and see, oh, that's a 3/3. I'm gonna swing into that because I have a 4/4 with trample. It's an 8/8. Okay, I guess.
Like people need to go back and graduate high school.
I
don't understand why that's such a difficult thing to do.
No, I just think it's more so. It's not difficult to do
on the maths for blockers rampage now? Is that what this is?
No, I just think it's just hard to read at a glance, right?
I guess that's true because there's nothing on the card
readability.
besides the name that says that's going to happen.
Yes.
So you really have to be like, all right, I'm going to combat. What do you got?
It's not counters.
Yeah.
Right? It's just it grows that much until the end of turn.
I still thought it was great.
It is cool. I think it's cool. I like Bushido. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I don't know. I really wish I really wanted an arcane. Maybe they'll do arcane spirits.
I think it would be cool to see our arcane come back around.
Because I don't even care about the splice. I just want the arcane type on cards because then I can actually build the arcane tribal deck that I wanted to make. Because splice I think is pretty cool. You cast a spell, and then if you have other spells in your hand with splice onto arcane, you cast an arcane and then pay each individual card, and you're adding more cards to the stack for it. And they didn't come out of your hand for it. You don't lose the card when you splice.
Yeah.
You just lose the one arcane you use when you cast, and then you add everything onto it. I think it was awesome.
I think that was a cool mechanic. Again, it was weird.
It is weird. It is very weird because normally the splice is normally
too much.
Too much.
It's way
it's
too
always
much.
too much.
It's way too much. It's like transmute.
Transmute.
It's like transmute. There are
I love
3 or 4 good transmute cards,
and then
the rest are just way too expensive to ever be worth it.
Yeah, transmute's one of those things where you have the 4 cards that everybody runs when they're trying to find combo pieces, but then everything else is garbage because it doesn't find anything, and they're way too. They're like what 5 mana?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No.
So arcanes were exactly the same, where you'd have the arcane and then you'd have the splice mechanic of it, and the splice is always at least 1 or 2 higher than the actual CMC of the card. I guess the benefit was the repeatability of that, where if you have a really good arcane in your hand with the splice, you get to play an arcane, splice it, and then be able to keep doing it without losing the card. I think
they were thinking like, oh, because you can play this, the best one is the kill spell.
Yes.
Because it's the same mana cost for the splice and just casting it. Like having this kill spell just be repeatable, right? That's probably too much. So we got to make the mana cost more so it evens out that you have as many of this spell as you have arcane cards. The problem is they compensated too much, and now no one will ever splice into arcane
here's the
because
thing.
Why would you?
Exactly. Well, here's the thing. We don't know what the commanders are going to be. If they're going to make a spirit arcane deck, their commander could reduce the cost of splice.
Yeah, but they already have a card that reduces the casting cost for arcane spells. It's Long Forgotten Go High. Spirits get +1/+1, and arcane spells cost 1 less. I only know that card exists because I play that card in my For Funsies 5-color spirits.
Is that the skeleton ship?
No, it's not skeleton ship.
Skeleton
Skeleton ship is 2 colors.
It's 2 colors.
It's Okagachi.
Oh, yeah. So, definitely ninjas for sure.
Definitely ninjas.
Ninjas sounds right. They're not going to do samurai.
And also because everybody goes gaga for ninjas. Do you know how hard it is to keep Yuriko in stock? It's so hard.
Well, I mean, and plus, all the good ninjas have been spiking since, you know,
crazy.
Kamigawa, they said we were going back.
I also think it would be a great opportunity for them to reprint the ninjas that were only in, like, Plane Chase.
That would be great.
Because those
they could
ninjas
do that in
are
the commander
like
decks.
$50-$60.
They could do that in the commander
deck. They could do that in the commander deck. They could
or the
lower
list.
the list. They could lower the price of those, frankly, ridiculous ninjas because they're not that spectacular. They were just printed once.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the list was supposed to be for. But
yeah, the list is a mess. I don't want to talk about it.
List is a mess.
I do want to talk about it, but it's not for this one.
No,
it's not for this cast, bro.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I think definitely ninjas.
Spirits is probably a good.
I
mean, who knows what they're gonna do with the other one?
If it was friggin' spirits.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if they're spirits. It wouldn't, but I mean, I can't think because no samurai. I can't think of anything else they would do because they already spoiled the best ninjutsu card for a ninjutsu specific deck.
Is it rats?
That would be cool.
Would they do rats?
Ooh,
because there was a huge, or like snakes.
I'd be on board for a rat or a snake deck.
Yeah,
I'm on board.
That would be weird.
It would be better than getting another spirit deck for sure.
It would be a lot better than getting another spirit deck, and plus cards like Throat Slitter are way too expensive.
They are.
Marrow-Gnar. What's the?
I know, but they wouldn't.
The lady rat that everybody goes gaga for.
If they're making a ninja deck, it's probably going to be Dimir.
Yeah.
Which means that the rat or spirit or snake deck is going to have to be 2 colors. And normally rats are just mono black.
That's true.
So what color would they add? Golgari? Rat snake?
Rat snakes?
Type thing?
The just generic tribal.
Generic tribal, yeah.
Sure. Which I guess is spirits because spirits are the easiest generic tribal.
Well, yeah, that's why spirits they've done it at least twice. Yeah. You know, like, I mean, it's not hard.
I don't know. I don't know. One of them's going to be ninjas because
ninjas.
Because people are
there's going to definitely
people
be
like Bobby exist. And so they will just buy all the ninjas they can.
I mean, and plus ninjas is just fun. I mean, it's probably not going to be ninjutsu tribal, but it's definitely going to have ninjutsu in it. Sure.
Yeah.
And you probably are going to include the ninjutsu card that we spoiled that gives everything ninjutsu 4.
I don't think they're going to do that.
No, I mean, you'd have to add it yourself. That would be the upgrade.
Yes.
Like they did that with a Poppet Stitcher and the Wilhelt deck in Midnight Hunt. They said, hey, here's a great upgrade right out of the box.
And nothing in the spirit deck.
And nothing in the spirit deck.
I think Millicent is really cool. I like Millicent a lot.
I thought it was cool.
I think I just think she's neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that deck's bad.
Lenore, I don't like Lenore.
I'm not a big fan of Lenore.
I'm not a fan of Lenore because
No.
she's less human. It seems like she's less human tribal and more Coven tribal.
Yeah.
And Coven did not get enough support for
No, Coven's it's like Adventures, right? Like
Yeah.
I know all of the Coven cards. I know they're in that set. I know it's not coming back.
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
not.
have to. You don't have to.
that. You think if they were gonna do Coven, they would try to diversify the power of all the creatures with Coven, because every time you see a Coven creature, it's either a 1-something or a 2-something, and they're all that way. So good luck getting that out of there.
Yeah.
Augur of Autumn 1/4, Lenore 2/2. There's at least 2 more I know of that are both 2/2s.
Yeah.
At least. So like,
Where's the third
yeah,
one?
where's the 3? You're telling me I have to artificially get there?
Hell, even a 0.
Yeah.
Even a
Give us
zero
a 0
would
with
get
Coven.
there.
Give us a
Yeah.
good Coven, because Augur of Autumn is a good card.
Augur of Autumn is a
Autumn
solid
Augur
card.
is insane.
Yeah.
You're allowed to cast lands off the top of your library, and if you have Coven, you can also do it with creatures.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Which is really hard to hit in tribal humans that are making 1,000,000 1/1s.
That are
Like,
pretty much exclusively 1/1s,
Yeah,
2/2s.
and 2/2s.
Occasionally there's a 3/3.
Yeah, and if you're going to buff them, they all get buffed. It's not just one of them. So,
Yeah,
I mean, Lenore,
because
I
the
guess,
amping
helps with
effects.
that because she buffs something slightly
Sorta.
higher, but like that's slow.
It is slow.
That is slow.
I mean, you've got to have her and Luminarch Aspirant, right? I've seen her
Yeah.
plus Luminarch Aspirant
That
go
sounds
burr.
nuts. Yeah, that sounds
It
nuts.
can go burr, but most of the time it's
because Lenore
just...
gets better as soon as she hits Coven.
Yeah.
Because then you get to do it on everybody, not
Yeah.
just one thing. So, what a deck.
It's not good.
No, it's not.
It's not
It's
good.
not. I mean, you could probably make it good, but the amount of upgrades you'd have to throw on that deck are insane.
Yeah.
To make that good. So, yeah. So those are our predictions for what we think the commander decks might be. Feel free to post in the comments what you think it might be that we won't read. That's also fine.
It's
You're
true.
allowed to do that. That's
We,
allowed.
we-
Comments are enabled for that reason.
They are enabled, but we're adults, so we don't read them.
That's also true.
I'm sorry.
So,
I'm not that sorry.
no. So I think we're gonna wrap up the video. We're gonna talk about what we would like to not see in Neon Dynasty. What do we not want to come back? What do we not want them to do with the set?
I know it's not going to happen, but I don't want to see Brawl ever again.
What was Brawl?
The
I don't think I've ever seen
you
that.
never. No. It was it's the Arena Commander.
The Arena Commander.
Brawl, 60 cards. Still
Oh,
singleton.
Brawl. Yeah.
I don't want. I know they're not going to, but I just really don't want to ever see Brawl again.
You don't want them to bring out back Brawl decks? No.
No.
Because they did with Throne. That's where they started.
Yeah,
And that went
and
downhill quick.
It was bad.
Brawl was its own
I mean, it gave
60
us-
card version of like Commander.
It gave us
So,
Corvald,
That's true.
and Corvald is good. And it gave us Alayla,
And
and
Alayla
Alayla
is
is good. And it gave us Chulane, and
Chulane
Chulane
is
might actually be broken. I
Chulane
think
is broken. No, that's
Chulane
broken.
is way broken.
No, that's broken.
A friend of mine.
That's a competitive deck. That
It
is a CEDH deck.
Chulane is like, Jesus. I don't want to see Brawl. We're not going to see Brawl. I just really
No, we're definitely
don't.
not gonna
I
see
just want to
Brawl.
keep putting it out into the universe.
That we don't want to see
Brawl.
it. No Brawl.
No Brawl.
No
No
Brawl.
Brawl.
No Brawl. I don't think we will.
No,
So
we won't.
I think we're okay. But we
But I just really
knock
wanna
on
make it
knock on
known.
some wood. We don't want. Yeah. We don't want to see it. I don't know. I think for me with the set, I don't want them to do what they've done with the last sets, where they're so scared to make overpowered things that they just keep cutting the head off the snake every
Sure.
time. Because every time after Throne, they just stopped going ham. They stopped deciding to do something. So because you can see it in the cards. You can see the card and you're like, man, this card had a lot of potential if they just took it that extra step farther. And they're so scared to. They don't want to pull an Oko. They don't want to have the format defined by the one set that got too powerful. So instead they just destroy every other set after that. This is Kamigawa. Let's go. Kamigawa does some nuts things. Legend roll, throw it out the window. Blocking, you can block whenever you want. That's a great card, by the way. Don't even knock that. There is a card from, I think, Betrayers of Kamigawa that says all creatures can block even if they're tapped. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All creatures can block. And I was like, Oh man, if you throw that in like a flying tribal deck, you're gonna hose people.
Someone the
Because you still have to follow the
Yeah.
blocking rules.
Yes.
But if I swing with flyers, it goes over your head and hits you. And if you try to retaliate back at me, I still get to block with all my huge flyers. It sounds insane.
It is. It can be. Yeah.
It sounds like a
Yeah.
pretty good, like, this, I play this, have fun. Because now everyone's thinking, oh, crap, now everybody can block. You can play a creature and block with it. You can play tapped creature and block with it. Blind Obedience does nothing anymore.
Something
Like-
the humorless.
Yeah.
Her name is something
Yeah.
the humorless.
They did some great stuff in all the old Kamigawas. If you don't know, I would highly recommend you go into Scryfall or The Gatherer, which is Magic's official one, but I would recommend Scryfall and just search each set in its entirety and just read the cards. Some of them you'll read it and go, I can't believe that's a card, and you'll actually wind up using it. There are some good cards in there.
There are some really good cards in there.
There's some bad cards, like every set, but
Well, the original Kamigawa's, it's one of its biggest downfalls is it was the first time Wizards did a top-down set, which means they developed the lore and then the cards to meet the lore. Right? That was the first time they did that. So they didn't quite understand how to match those two together, because. I mean, we got things like Bushido, which, while cool, is very, very hard to read at a glance. We got things like Arcane, which, while the splice mechanic is great,
it's overcosted.
Twice, it costs too much. It also gave us a lot of legendary creatures.
A lot.
That
was the entire point of the.
Which, while cool now, at the time there wasn't Elder Dragon Highlander. There wasn't Commander. It was just, okay, so there's a bunch of dudes I can have only one of on the field at any time. Like,
if I remember it correctly,
okay.
they even updated the legend rule specifically because of when they released Champions of Kamigawa. Because it used to be, if I have this creature and it's legendary and you play one, they kill each other.
Yes.
And they're just gone.
Yeah.
And no one gets to keep it. And then they release a full legendary set and they go, wait a minute, this is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And while they did include a card that says the legend rule doesn't apply, I mean, you still have getting that card out is going to be hard. And that means everyone's going to have to run it. So now the meta shrinks like crazy because everyone's got to run it now. So they changed it to be, it's only your side of the field that counts. If you have a legendary creature and someone plays the exact same one, nothing happens. It's just your side of the board. Which allowed people, and that's how the legend rule is today. So Champions of Kamigawa shaped the legend rule change because they went top down.
I think another reason why people didn't like it is because it came directly after Mirrodin block.
It did come after,
which is one of the best blocks in the history of Magic the Gathering, and it was followed up by Kamigawa, which is, to be frank, significantly lower powered.
It is.
Which is what happens, right? Throne, right? And now we've seen everything.
Every set after that's felt the effect. That's what happened.
The effect. Kamigawa was, well, I mean, it was the second or third time it had happened, but it was the first time it had happened, right? Like post a set as good as Mirrodin. I mean, I think since Urza's Saga.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was like the first time since Urza block that they were like, oh God, that was too much. Let's dial it back. Also too much. And so we got Cold Snap and Kamigawa, which were not great because of that.
So which of the Kamigawas do you think is the best?
Is the best? I think probably Saviors.
I can see that.
I just think the cards in it are generally better than the ones before them without being broken.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because there's tops in Champions.
Yes.
Right? And
Sensei's Divining Top is a uncommon in Champions.
So is Jite?
Oh, yeah, that's also in Champions.
That's also in Champions, yeah. So the biggest, like, cards to worry about, right, they're in Champions.
Mm-hmm.
And they got banned because they had to be, right? They're legitimately too good.
Yeah, Jite was changed, and Top is still Top.
Yeah, Jite, well, the way damage worked.
Yeah, they had to change.
Changed.
When I say they changed the card, I meant they fundamentally changed
Changed
how the game worked.
how the
They
game
did that a
works.
lot for Kamigawa, as you can see. They changed damage and they changed the legend rule.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know,
Whereas I think Saviors found the right balance of cool cards that you want to play like Sakashima the Imposter, without being like, oh god, Sensei's Divining Top. We have to ban this in every format and restrict it in Vintage because, oops.
It's legal in Commander, though.
It is legal in Commander because having one of them is fine. Having 4 of them is
four of them is
ridiculous.
Oh, it's a good card.
Yeah, it's a good card. What I don't want to see from Kamigawa, I don't want to see more Legends Matter stuff.
No.
I don't want to see more Legends Matter because
I mean, we're gonna get a lot of legendary creatures, but that's because Commander being so popular, they do that every set.
yeah, that's because now they do that every
But we
set.
don't want what we mean. Well, they are printing. I think they might be doing Legends Matter stuff though this time.
God,
We've every single legendary land we've seen is a Legends Matters card.
You're right.
We've seen the Swamp
Well,
one and the Plains one.
I'm already seeing stuff I don't want to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't want by Legend Matter stuff. We mean cards that change what they do based on the legendary things you have on the board. The examples of those are from previous videos. It was the legendary Swampland and the legendary Plainsland that are Legends Matter.
They cost less
channel
for
cards.
each legendary creature you have. Not even legendary permanent.
No, it's not even permanent.
Legendary
which would be better. But again, power level of stuff is in the toilet. But so yeah, I mean, I don't know how many. We're definitely getting at least 3 more because they got to finish the land cycle.
They gotta finish the.
So we're getting at least 3 more, but hopefully we won't see anything more that's legendary matters because it's just too much. We got plenty of that already. We don't need any more of it. We got Sisei, and that's all we need.
I don't want any more. I don't want any more of those dumb rats. I don't like the rats.
Why
I don't
not?
like rats.
Why not?
Because it's Thrumming Stone, Relentless Rats, go burr.
That's true.
And that
I mean, you can technically do the same thing with Shadowborn Apostle, Persistent Pensioner.
Yeah, I don't like any of those.
Dragon's Approach is a fun one.
I do not. All of those just make me miserable.
Out of all 4 of those, Dragon's
Approach
Approach is more consistent because it's direct damage to everybody every time you do it.
Yeah.
So you only need to hit a certain number of them to do it.
Yeah, at least Dragon's Approach is like, I do the thing and the game ends. It's not like, I do the thing and
now I have to figure...
And now I have a million rats. Pass turn.
Yeah,
and
right?
It's like...
Because you're mono black with them having fear and you can't Concordant Crossroads to win the game.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, you have a lot of rats. Wrath of God.
Yeah.
Next.
The other problem is like Shadowborn Apostles, unless you have... is the only way... The way that wins is the infinite engine of sacking them and then picking someone with...
Yeah, you need
the god
Athreos.
Athreos.
You need Athreos to make
Athreos, Edgewalker, and then a sack outlet, and then with Thrumming, you don't even need Thrumming Stone necessarily,
but it helps.
But it helps because you get all those out, and then you sack them all, and you target somebody. They lose a ton of life until they can't. The rest of them go to your hand. You play them for free, and you keep going.
I don't want any of that type of shenanigans.
No.
I don't like that type of shenanigans.
So we probably don't want to see you can have any of this amount of this in your deck.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't want that.
We don't want that. We have too many of those now.
It's true.
There's enough of those. We're good. We're done. We got 2 forms of rats, actually, because it's Pack Rats and Relentless Rats, because they both can do it.
Yeah.
We have Persistent Pensioner, Dragon's Approach, Shadowborn Apostle. We don't need any more. We're done.
Yeah.
It's over.
It's
over. We're done.
I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. I don't want any of those weird flip cards.
Oh yeah,
Like the turn?
that was a mechanic.
The turn?
So Innistrad is famous for their transform cards, where it's front and the back. Zendikar and Kaldheim gave us the MDFCs, which you can play front or back from your hand depending on if you meet the requirements for it.
Innistrad gave us more transform and also disturb, which is the same thing but from your graveyard.
And then the Kamigawa block gave us these weird double-sided cards where it's the banner, like we'll probably put up the Budaku Gardener.
Yes,
probably the main guy.
That one's classic. Yes.
So it's a card on it's the text of the card on the top with the art in the middle, and then when the card transforms, you just spin it 180, and then it's using the top text, and it's very weird. It's very weird.
It is very weird. I do not want to have to answer those questions.
No.
I don't want to have to
No.
answer that question.
Mm-mm.
I've already had enough people ask me, hey, can I use this card as my commander when the legendary part is only on the bottom part? Which is like,
can't.
no, you cannot, because the top part isn't a legendary creature.
It's the same thing with Elbus, the Binding Blade.
Yeah.
Even though it's a legendary demon on the back,
You
and
cannot
the front's
use
technically legendary, it's just an artifact.
It's an artifact. You cannot do that. Yeah.
I think I agree with you, because which is funny though, because Bushido was incredibly unreadable, and then they went, well, let's not put it on the back, let's put it on the other side, because across from you can read that bottom of the card,
bottom card, and so you're like,
oh, I know what that flips into, I know what it becomes, instead of having to like lift up the card and read it, or just know what it does with like disturb and stuff, which is interesting. So on one half they gave readability a good thumbs up to readability for that, and then they did Bushido said, we don't need to mind that.
We don't care.
Math for blockers.
Math for blockers. Don't worry.
We don't care.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, the blockers will figure it out.
They'll figure it out.
You just swing, and then they have to figure out what they're dealing with. That's how Bushido works.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't want to see that either. That's a great point.
Yeah. I hate those cards.
Yeah, some of them are good, but
I think it's cool that it is the closest we can get to like having an enchantment as your commander.
That's
I think
true.
that is neat. I think that is neat. But yeah. Oh, what don't you want to see?
Oh, I don't want to. What was the first one I said? I don't want to say it again. I can't remember what I said.
I can't remember what you said.
God,
just say it. Just say it. Just say what's on your mind.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Say what's on your mind.
I don't
buddy.
want to see. I agree with you. I don't want to see the Legends Matter stuff. I don't want to see I don't want to see that half flip cards, because who needs that anymore?
Yeah.
We're not getting Bushido, but I don't care. Oh, I talked about how I didn't want them to railroad the set because of power level and stuff. I wish they would go for it, because then we actually get really good cards, and then all they have to do is take the L on certain cards and restrict and ban them like they do for most cards anyway.
You can print another GT. It's okay.
You can't. You're allowed
to. Just ban it. Just ban it
if
quickly.
It's too good, ban
it quickly.
There you go.
That's all you got to do.
You just got to do it
That's all
quick
you got to
enough
do.
and take the L for it. You did it with Omnath. You did it with the Adventure Locket.
They did it with Skull Clamp.
It was Skull Clamp.
Skull Clamp was it was banned after what, 12 days?
Yeah.
Like
that's
sometimes that's okay. Sometimes you go, that's too good. All right, okay, walk it back, and that's fine, because at least we have a cool, interesting card that exists and we can play with in certain formats, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a ton of lame cards that just sit in a box and gather dust.
Because that's what happens to every set. There's like 4 cards everyone's looking for, and the rest of the set falls away. Because all you care about is Meat Hook Massacre and Ren and 7 and Gold.
And even Ren and 7.
Ren and 7 dropped too. Like it was a great card when it came out, and then people realized, man, it's not actually as good as we thought it was, and it dropped off.
You don't need to jam it into every mono green deck. You have enough ramp. Your mono green.
Hell, I mean that's the funny thing is, because now you just play Abundance with Cultivator Colossus. You don't need the Ren and 7 anymore, and that's an uninterruptible combo. If they allow the Cultivator Colossus to resolve and you start doing the triggers with Abundance, anything you have that triggers goes on your personal stack. And then after you're completely done and the ability finally resolves, you then get to take all those triggers and throw them on the stack however you want. No one can interact while you're going through it, period. Yeah. So, I mean, why you don't need Ren and 7.
Yeah,
Ren and 7 is not necessary. I don't want to see, I know we're not going to, because they haven't done it in forever.
Yeah.
But the blanket effect, the legend rule doesn't apply to everyone. Everybody can block as though they weren't tapped. Because in Kamigawa, it was, if you play this card, it's a super powerful effect, but your opponent gains it as well, not just you.
Sure.
And they haven't done that in a long time.
You want Fervor, not Concordant Crossroads.
Yes.
I understand.
Because the problem with that is people tend to not read the cards.
Yeah.
They just read it and go, wow, that's a really powerful effect. I want that. And then they play it and you go, cool, I gain it too. And they're like, no. And you're like, dude, read the card before you play the card.
Yeah, read the card. Yeah, I get it too.
Yeah. You play the mirror and everybody, your opponent, like, That's why I laugh, is because like if in standard of Kamigawa, if you're playing with the mirror because you want to be able to play multiple legendaries, you play it and you immediately enable your opponent. They're not going to remove it because they need it. So what's the point?
Yeah.
So it's basically the first person to play the mirrors at the disadvantage because you spent the mana for them to gain the benefit on their next turn.
Yeah.
And they haven't done it since like Slivers and Kamigawa, but like and I don't think they're going to, but I don't want to see it. Because in my opinion, Kamigawa is kind of known for that because all 3 of those sets do that. There are cards in there that do that in all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Where it's just a blanket effect that just hits the board and goes. And you're like, I guess I have to give my opponent this as well.
Yeah.
Azusa was a great example of something that didn't do that.
Yes. Azusa was.
I'd love to see more stuff like
good.
that. Like, why can't...
Like Azusa? You get to play additional lands?
Well, just like that kind of power level.
Oh,
like
sure.
3 mana, play 2 additional lands a turn?
Sure.
Like, dude.
Yeah.
Where's the power level's gone, man. It's gone. The power is gone.
I want the power.
You can print Uro. Just ban it immediately and we're fine. Like, come on, guys. What are you doing?
Uro wasn't that bad.
No, he wasn't that bad.
I mean, yeah, he was miserable, but he wasn't
Splinter
that
Twin
bad.
did nothing wrong.
Splinter Twin is banned for a reason, and it should stay banned. All right?
Oh, yeah.
Birthing Pod.
Birthing
Pod
Pod.
can come back.
Birthing Pod can come
Birthing Pod can come back.
You don't think Birthing Pod did anything wrong?
At the time, yes.
But now we have enough.
Well, but now it doesn't matter. Now Birthing Pod is fine.
Yeah. I mean, we have like budget Birthing Pod with Pyre of Heroes. Tribal Birthing Pod, but
I mean, the Yawgmoth combo list in Modern is basically just Birthing Pod.
Yeah.
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 I mean, if you put Birthing Pod in the Yawgmoth list, actually, Aspiring Spike and someone else, I can't remember their name.
I'm not going to be able to help you.
I know, it's okay. They literally just did, they did this a few months ago. It was, they each built a Birthing Pod and a Splinter Twin deck. And would play the Splinter Twin versus the Birthing Pod, and then like the Birthing Pod versus a bunch of like the current standard or current modern list. Same thing with Splinter Twin, and like the best build they came up with Birthing Pod was like a totally fine, reasonable deck that you could play now, and it doesn't really interrupt the format.
The Splinter Twin went nuts.
The Splinter Twin is went absolutely ridiculous because it's Splinter Twin,
Splinter Twin's really good.
and if you let the Splinter Twin resolve, you're losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Birthing Pod is fine.
Yeah,
Splinter
we can bring
Twin
it back.
is miserable. Please print more of those cards. Just ban them quicker.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. That's all we ask.
Yep.
Take the L on the card, and that's all you got to do. Because then the set benefits for it. Because you're going higher up on the power level, all the other cards are just better in general because you're trying to have those meet that card. That's why Throne was so good, is because Oko was the top and everything else was decently underneath it, but still up there.
Yeah.
It's not like you started here and went down. You started here and went down, which is different.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, we're obviously excited about going back to Kamigawa.
I'm here for it.
It's going to be fun.
It's
going to be fun.
I hope they go all in on the cyber art.
I do, too. I think they will.
Art.
So far, it's been looking pretty good.
So good, yeah.
Vehicle's a little iffy on
Vehicle's
the art. You'll see the vehicle art.
You know what?
But...
I like the vehicle art.
Really?
Looking at it closer, I like the vehicle art.
I don't know. Maybe
it's very weird.
Maybe it'll hit better if I'm not looking at a blurry image.
At a blurry foil full art, like grainy.
Yeah, like weird. Yeah,
fucking 280p.
Yeah. We gotta wait till people actually start getting the cards and we get like actual official pictures.
Yeah.
Then we can see the actual art and it looks good. But like the 3 cards I looked at were pictures taken by someone who doesn't know how to use a camera.
They were taken
in pitch black.
Yeah.
Super blurry. They're not great.
Yeah, they're not great pictures.
If Jeff's putting up the cards, you've probably seen what we mean beforehand because we just don't have good pictures of these cards. So
the photography is miserable.
Yeah, it's miserable. So yeah, that's the MTG rundown for today.
Yeah, I think that's it for this week.
Yeah. Hopefully Andrew will be back next week.
Hopefully.
We will regain a whole Andrew.
Yes.
Hopefully next week.
One whole Andrew, not 2. Yeah, I think that's it.
So beforehand, we had talked about how we were going to potentially have a Commander game that was going to go up, and it just never happened.
Yeah.
That's because recording is hard.
Recording is
difficult.
Yes.
And it was a test run totally didn't lose, by the way. Totally didn't lose. No need to worry about that. But the footage is lost, obviously. So we don't have it. So hopefully
we're gonna try it again eventually.
We're gonna try it again eventually.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's it.
We've been the MTG Rundown. I'm Happy.
And I'm Elijah.
And that's it. See you guys later.
See you guys later.